I discovered my wife was unfaithful after 17 tumultuous years of marriage. Instead of reacting impulsively, I made the conscious decision to center my attention on my own well-being while she faced her own struggles. At this moment, I find myself utterly devastated and completely at a loss, unsure of where to begin unraveling the layers of this complex situation. This is an extensive and intricate story, and the sole reason I stumbled upon this subreddit is that these thoughts have been relentlessly consuming my mind throughout the day. I haven't been able to confide in anyone about this harrowing experience, so I humbly ask for your understanding and compassion. I've been married for 16.5 years to my wife, who is 21 years old. Throughout our marriage, we've navigated a rollercoaster of emotions, experiencing both moments of immense joy and periods of profound difficulty. When I first met her, she was the kindest, most gracious woman I had ever encountered. Her warmth and kindness were immediately apparent, and I was so taken with her that I told her she would become my wife just 2 minutes after our initial meeting. Together, we have 2 children who mean the absolute world to me. However, after the birth of our second child, subtle changes began to emerge. She became more withdrawn, seemed perpetually depressed, and her behavior noticeably shifted. Initially, I assumed she was battling depression, but she resisted seeking professional help. Instead, she expressed a desire for couples counseling. Unfortunately, this was during the height of the recession, and I was juggling 4 jobs alongside a side business just to make ends meet each month. Affording an additional $50 a week for counseling was financially unfeasible, especially when she was no longer communicating with me. Whenever I inquired about what was troubling her, she would respond with uncertainty, often saying, "I don't know." There were fluctuations in her behavior. Some weeks she was wonderful, while other weeks she was harsh and disrespectful. Once our financial situation began to stabilize, I earnestly begged her to attend counseling with me. Eventually, she agreed, though I sensed her reluctance. We sought help from a female counselor whom I believed she thought would simply criticize me and claim I was at fault. Contrary to her expectations, the counselor did not initially place the blame solely on me. Instead, she echoed my sentiments, expressing frustration about our inability to work together effectively. My wife then mentioned needing more assistance with household responsibilities. This was back in 2015, and since then, I've taken on 3 jobs in addition to managing household chores like vacuuming, emptying the dishwasher and sink daily, handling the laundry, taking out the trash, and keeping the house tidy. For a while, things seemed to stabilize, but then her behavior took a turn for the worse again. She began lashing out at our daughter frequently, which was deeply concerning. Eventually, I pulled her aside and assured her that I would never seek a divorce. I was committed to improving our marriage no matter how long it took. However, I suspected that she was directing her frustration toward our daughter because our daughter resembles me so much, and I couldn't permit that. I told her that if she wanted a divorce, that was what we would proceed with. The following day, she expressed a desire to work things out, and for several years, things appeared to be going well. She even consulted a doctor and was prescribed an antidepressant, although she insisted on taking the lowest possible dose. Fast forward to 2020, and her meanness and disrespect returned, intensifying even further. She expressed complete disdain in her tone whenever she spoke to me and displayed a look of disgust whenever I appeared somewhere. Our sexual relationship had never been an issue. We both genuinely enjoyed each other's company. However, when she was in these negative moods, she would withdraw emotionally. Despite numerous offers to cheat, especially given my position as a bartender where I received many advances, I remained faithful. At one point, my sister even assumed I was being unfaithful because she knew my wife had not been intimate with me for an extended period. I reassured her that I would never do that. Now, we find ourselves in this painful situation. Last month, after attending a wedding at a hotel, I hoped to spend some intimate time with my wife. Instead, she bluntly told me she no longer wanted to be with me and suggested we divorce. We agreed to proceed with the divorce but decided to postpone it until after the holidays to minimize the impact on our children. She fell asleep 10 minutes later, and I lay in bed, tears streaming down my face for 3 hours, believing I was experiencing the most excruciating pain imaginable. Then, just a week ago, she had to attend a midnight party for my daughter's softball team. She didn't return home, so I checked our Life 360 app and saw she was at an Applebee's. This was odd, as I assumed she was meeting a friend for a drink. Afterward, she claimed she was at a bar with people from the party until 1 a.m., even though Applebee's closes at midnight. When I questioned her about it, she said she was at a bar with the party attendees, never mentioning Applebee's, which raised my suspicions. 2 days later, she informed me that her boss had instructed her to secure her phone with a password due to work-related emails, which further aroused my suspicions. Today, her mother contacted me, requesting help to move a rug. I agreed and, after assisting, I noticed my wife had left work. I decided to take advantage of her habit of needing to talk on the phone while driving and called her. She was curt and said she had to go because she was talking to her mother, who was right in front of me. When she arrived home, I inquired about her mother's well-being, and as she recounted the conversation, I revealed that I had seen her earlier that day. Her expression changed dramatically, and after some half-hearted excuses, she finally confessed that she had been seeing someone for several months. This revelation left me shell-shocked. 10 minutes later, she acted as though nothing had happened. I'm unsure if this was to prevent the news from reaching our children or because she simply doesn't care about the pain she caused me. I suspect the latter, as I haven't been able to discuss this with anyone due to our decision to keep the divorce private from our kids. We had to attend a Christmas village tonight, and our children sensed something was wrong with me, though they thought I was just in a bad mood. My son even remarked, "You sound hurt." I just don't know what I'm going to do. The mere thought of divorce was already overwhelmingly stressful, and I've lost 20 pounds in the past month without trying, all while trying to figure out how to proceed without losing my house. Over the last 15 years, I've been paying off various debts, $10,000 in credit card debt, $155,000 in student loans, and a $45,000 car loan. Now, I'm likely to owe her at least $40,000 for the house. It's going to be excruciating, but I believe I can handle it. I was finally mentally preparing myself for the divorce when this betrayal struck me like a ton of bricks in the past month. She's hurt me more deeply than I ever imagined possible. I don't even recognize the woman I once married and am at a loss for what to do. My daughter is going to be heartbroken when we inform her of our separation, but I'm unsure whether to disclose the affair because I don't want her to develop animosity toward her mother. I feel lost, confused, incredibly stressed, and utterly heartbroken. When I look at my wife, she seems indifferent, which only adds to my anguish. Thank you for listening. I'm not sure if what I've written is too loud or off-topic, but I appreciate it regardless, as it has been therapeutic to express these feelings, even if I'm doing so with more tears streaming down my face. Update 1, a 3-month progress report ***. It's been 3 months since my initial post, and it's been quite a journey. Please pardon the length of this update. I received a lot of advice on my original post. Feel free to check my submission history for the full story. I chose to follow my instincts on how to move forward, and things are going okay, though not entirely resolved, as expected within just a few months. About a week after my original post, I discovered the man's name through a Facebook message on her computer. It appeared that was their only mode of communication, likely because he was married with 3 children and a doctor. The realization was a real gut punch, especially during Christmas when I was already struggling to survive on 3 jobs. I found out she had informed her entire family, including my sister and my cousin's wives, about our impending divorce. Meanwhile, I hadn't told anyone out of fear that the news would reach our children before the holidays concluded. Her mother was distraught, believing she was making a monumental mistake, as did my sister and her best friend. However, my wife seemed indifferent. She also omitted the part about her infidelity, of course. I couldn't speak to her mother during Christmas because she was already in tears, and I didn't want to alarm my children. Instead, I arranged to talk to her a few days later. The next day, my wife and I had a sit-down discussion. I expressed that I didn't want her to see the other man until everything was finalized, as it was disrespectful. I also mentioned that if she wanted to maintain friendships, she shouldn't treat a friend that way. She agreed to stop seeing him. We then discussed how to divide our assets. I believe I managed it well, no alimony, no child support, 50/50 custody, and we both provide clothes for the kids. Everything else was split equally. I'm retaining the house, and I have to pay her $43,000 in equity. In the end, she walked away with about $40,000. She owes her father $110,000 but maintains an 800 credit score and no debt, all thanks to me. When I finally spoke to her mother, I learned that upon discovering we were going to talk, she had come clean about the affair. Initially, she lied about the cheating when her mother inquired, but then she confessed the truth. My mother-in-law was furious and lashed out at her before crying to me that she was scared I would cut her out of my life. I assured her that wouldn't happen. Fast forward to mid-January, and I've lost 40 pounds. I'm going to the gym daily to relieve stress. Now, we need to inform our children. I told my wife that I wouldn't lie to our kids, but I also wouldn't reveal the affair because I didn't want them to hate their mother. She felt the same way. However, knowing my daughter is a lot like me, she was quick to notice the truth. Before we even spoke to them, my daughter asked if we were getting divorced. When we sat them down, my wife confirmed it, and our children broke down in tears. I was crying too. My wife then made a significant mistake by saying, "Listen, we both want this," which prompted my daughter to explode with everything she felt. She screamed, "That's my father. He would never want this. You want this. Look at him, he's crying. I've never seen him cry in my life. This is you." She even questioned if my wife was cheating on me. My wife attempted to change the subject, but my daughter persisted, demanding the truth until my wife finally admitted it. After that, I sensed my wife was trying to manipulate the situation by bringing up every red flag repeatedly and forcing her to confess within 3 minutes. Later, I spoke to my children individually. My 12-year-old son needed reassurance that everything would be okay and that changes would be minimal. My daughter, a 14-year-old mirror of me, was crying for me, not for her mother, due to my profound hurt. I comforted her and promised her support. She asked me to vow that if my wife lost her new house and needed a place to stay temporarily, I would allow her to stay with us. Given everything that was happening, I couldn't refuse. When she spoke to her mother, she promised to stop communicating with the other man, but she broke that promise after 2 weeks. Since then, she has continued to sneak around, meeting him for brief periods at places like Target. I caught her repeatedly, leading to heated arguments where she agreed to stop seeing him even though she still maintained contact. Apparently, she has developed feelings for him now, similar to my daughter. Eventually, she broke her promise, so there's no need for me to inform her about it right now. I'm currently in the process of refinancing my house, and she's searching for her own home with the help of her affluent aunt co-signing for her. Hopefully, she'll find something suitable soon. Additionally, I have proof of her infidelity and know everything about this man, but I've decided not to inform his wife. I'm not proud of this decision, but my motives are entirely selfish and self-serving. The reality is that if I do tell him, they will proceed with the divorce, and once my wife leaves, he has a ready-made relationship waiting for her, a wealthy man who, even after divorce, remains financially stable, taking her on lavish dates and vacations, and assisting with her bills. While part of me wants to harm this man, I desire to hurt my wife more when she leaves. However, this isn't happening. They won't be able to go on dates, she'll only be able to see him at her house briefly, and he won't provide her with any money to avoid alerting his wife. Now that she has feelings for him, she might see if he's willing to leave his wife and family for her. Betting he will, but if he does, he'll need to have the courage to end his current marriage. I refuse to be his dirty work. This situation reminds me of her wealthy aunt, who left her married husband upon discovery of his infidelity, moved in, and transformed from a financially struggling single mother to a millionaire. The same might happen with my wife, but I won't facilitate it. Thank you for reading. I continue to visit this subreddit regularly, and it's been incredibly therapeutic. Please, be kind. I understand not everyone will agree with everything in my post, but please try to comprehend that every situation is unique. Update 2, 16 months later It's been 16 months since I uncovered my wife's infidelity, and here's an update on how things have unfolded. If you check my post history, you'll find the full story about catching my wife cheating after nearly 17 years of marriage. Our divorce was finalized this past August. I had promised my children that their lives would be disrupted as little as possible, and I've upheld that promise. In August, we finalized the divorce. She was searching for a new home while still living with us and received 16 offers on her potential houses. I found a house nearby that she loved, and after speaking with the owner, he essentially let her have it without accepting other bids. She wouldn't have secured the house without my assistance, which gives me some solace, knowing that our children are now never more than 30 seconds away from me. Our divorce agreement was favorable for me, no alimony, no child support, 50/50 custody. I retained the house, and she received her share of the equity before interest rates soared. In the following months, I focused on refurbishing my home after the split, rearranging furniture, changing pictures, and creating a positive environment for my children. They remained positive, continued attending the gym, and stayed committed to their routines. I've maintained a friendly relationship with my ex-wife, which has helped put our children at ease and helped them adjust to the new circumstances. She even attended Thanksgiving and Christmas Eve at my sister's house. Some people might think I'm being overly generous, but I chose to let go of any ill feelings and prioritize our children's happiness by ensuring they could celebrate the holidays normally, which brings me joy. Financially, I've been doing well, though I suspect my ex-wife might be struggling. She was never adept at managing money, and while we're supposed to divide everything, covering the kids' needs beyond food and clothing often leaves me paying more than my fair share. I don't mind because I know the money is going towards our children's well-being. In December, I met a beautiful and wonderful woman who lives about an hour away. She's divorced with 2 children, and due to our custody arrangements, we only see each other a few times a month. Nevertheless, she's incredible and brings me immense happiness. I'm unaware of my ex-wife's current dating life or if she's still involved with the other man. I know she's seeing a few other people but choose not to inquire. Shortly after she moved out, she went out with a man and was assaulted by 4 women, which, to be honest, made me laugh as she was beaten by them. Regarding the man she cheated with, we share some mutual friends. I informed a couple of his friends that I knew about the affair, but they hadn't taken any action yet. They then started making remarks like, "Man, if he decides to go after him, they won't find the guy's body for 50 years, which left him sweating without showing it." They were likely aware it was him, though I don't believe my ex-wife ever informed him that I knew about the affair. This revelation was probably an unexpected surprise for him, and I suspect we'll cross paths eventually. I'm uncertain how that will unfold, but I have no intention of seeking him out. In summary, 16 months after the day everything changed, I now have a new girlfriend, a strong relationship with my children, a fulfilling work life, excellent physical health, and financial stability. I believe things couldn't have turned out better for me, so if anyone currently going through a similar situation needs advice, here's what I recommend. 1. Stay positive. Don't let resentment or negative emotions dominate your life. 2. Financial negotiation. If you're financially strained, try to negotiate a settlement with your spouse without involving lawyers, ensuring you have some funds to move forward. 3. Amicable relationships. If you have children, strive to maintain an amicable relationship with your ex-spouse for their sake, even though it's challenging. 4. Exercise. Exercise is an excellent way to alleviate stress. Find a gym and start going. It benefits both your mental and physical health. 5. Personalized path. Remember that every situation is unique, so find the path that best suits your circumstances. 6. Acceptance. Once the divorce is finalized, accept that your spouse is gone and not coming back, as the trust has been irreparably damaged. 7. Move on. Move on and seek someone who truly deserves you. If you struggle to meet people in everyday life, consider using a dating app like Bumble. They can be effective. This update might not satisfy everyone in this subreddit, but it genuinely worked well for me and my children, which is all I ever wanted. I'm significantly happier now than I was after my initial post, and I believe that's the ultimate goal of this community. Thank you all for your kind words and support, they've been invaluable. On to the next story. Story 2, I caught my girlfriend cheating at a friend's wedding. My wife, a 32-year-old woman, has always been my biggest supporter, especially regarding my DJ career. She was instrumental in how we first met back in 2011 at a school event where I was just starting out as a DJ in our town. From the moment we began talking, we connected instantly. We shared so much in common, from our interests to our music preferences and favorite bands. Initially, we decided to remain friends, but it didn't take long for us to realize there was something deeper between us, and we began dating. By 2013, we were engaged, and to celebrate, we took a memorable trip together. We often reminisce about that journey, recalling how we listened to the entire catalog of Third Eye Blind and sang along to all their songs. That same year, we got married, and throughout our 9-year marriage, we developed a cherished tradition of attending concerts by our favorite band, Third Eye Blind, whenever they were on tour. Over the course of our marriage, we managed to attend 9 of their concerts, creating fantastic memories filled with shared passions. Last night was supposed to be our 10th time seeing our beloved band. Can you believe it? We've been married for 10 years as well, and our anniversary is just around the corner in November. I had an incredible plan meticulously arranged for us. We would attend the concert, stay at a luxurious hotel, and enjoy a super romantic evening together. To top it all off, I had bought her a stunning custom gold necklace engraved with her name and her favorite lyrics. I had been saving my entire salary for the past year specifically for this special gift, knowing she would absolutely adore it. So, on Friday night, the big day arrived, the day of the concert and our 10th anniversary celebration. When I returned home from work, I found my wife preparing for the evening, looking as breathtaking as ever. I was thrilled to present her with the necklace and the concert tickets. I reached for my work laptop bag, where I kept them, but then I noticed her phone on the table with a notification buzzing. Unable to resist my curiosity, I tapped on the message. It was from an unknown number and read, "How was today? I miss you so much. When can I see you again?" I was utterly shocked, and a strange heaviness settled in my chest upon seeing that message on her phone. I couldn't help but scroll through their conversation, and with every message I read, my disgust for my wife grew. How could she do this to me? That was the only question on my mind. The worst part was when she mentioned needing condoms, and he responded with a picture of a condom pack in his car, captioned, "Already." It made me wonder if they had even used any, but at that point, did it even matter? I didn't want to stay in the house another minute longer, so I grabbed my work bag, which contained the concert tickets and the necklace I had bought her. I needed space to process what was happening before confronting her about it, so I jumped in the car and drove straight to the concert venue. I had spent a considerable amount of money on those VIP tickets, so I figured he might as well make use of them. About 15 minutes into the drive, my wife called me, sounding both surprised and annoyed. She asked where I was and what I was doing. Can you believe the audacity she had to question me? I was so angry that I told her I was on my way to the show since she had already had her fun at a private event in the afternoon. There was silence on the other end, but I was too furious to continue the conversation, so I simply hung up. I was still in shock, unable to believe what I had just discovered. At that moment, I felt numb, unsure of what to feel. Then she called me back, but it seemed like she was just going through the motions. She began crying and tried to explain that they were just friends and that nothing had actually happened between them. But I couldn't accept her excuses anymore. It felt like she never respected me or truly loved me the way I loved her. Everything just spilled out, and I reminded her of how I had gone to great lengths to get her an expensive gift for our special anniversary. She went quiet and then suddenly acted like she was crying, asking me what I had gotten her. It felt like she was trying to manipulate me into feeling sorry for her and forgiving her. I was done with her lies and drama. At that point, I told her to leave me alone and be with whoever she wanted to be with, but she insisted that we discuss it like adults and wanted me to come back, acting as if I was the childish one for storming out. I saw through her plan, realizing she was trying to appear innocent, make me feel guilty, and then attempt to seduce me. Honestly, the very thought of it disgusted me. I never imagined I would feel this way about my wife, and the idea of being intimate with her was overwhelming. I arrived at the concert and handed my ticket to the usher at the entrance. He looked at me and said, "There's two," meaning I needed to scan the other ticket as well. I must have been in a daze or something because I just stared at him blankly and replied, "Yes, there's two," and then walked inside. It felt like I was in some sort of trance or hypnotized state. Anyway, the show was incredible. I had a fantastic time and genuinely enjoyed myself. I even ended up making friends with some cool people in my row, and we all had a great time together, singing along to the songs. However, I must admit that some of the lyrics resonated with me differently that night, considering everything that was happening. I felt so alive, I danced and screamed along with the crowd, using the music as a release for all my frustrations. The loud rock music drowned out everything else, providing exactly what I needed. When the concert ended, it was still relatively early, and I contemplated sitting at the bar for a drink. However, the idea of talking to someone outside the context of the concert felt overwhelming. My mind kept returning to those texts and what I had discovered, making it difficult to shake off those thoughts. So, after the concert, I headed to the hotel where I had made a reservation for my wife and me, but I was there alone. When I woke up, my inbox was flooded with about 30 emails from her. It seemed she had been up all night, experiencing a whirlwind of emotions, guilt, shame, and even anger. Surprisingly, some of her emails were filled with anger toward me for going through her phone, making it feel as though I was the one in the wrong. She pleaded and bargained, leaving voice messages expressing her surprise that I had gotten her an expensive gift, which she discovered by going through my emails. She begged me to answer her calls and wanted us to talk things out, hoping we could salvage our anniversary night and make it memorable. That night turned out to be unforgettable, but not in the way I had imagined. It was then that I truly saw the colors of the person I had been married to, even though it took me nearly 12 years to fully realize it. The worst part was when she sent me all the cards I had written for her over the years, anniversary cards, birthday cards, Christmas cards. I had always poured my heart into those cards, expressing my deep love for her, something I had never done for anyone else before. She used to write such heartfelt cards for me too, though she hadn't done so in years. I believe her intention was for me to read those cards and have my heart soften, to remember how much I loved her. She hoped that I would come to my senses, reach out to her, and that we would talk things through, leading to forgiveness and a better future together. Instead, reading those cards made me realize just how little she loved me. It was a painful realization that night, as heartbreaking as it was. It opened my eyes to who my wife truly was, despite us being together for nearly 12 years. I understood that I needed to come to terms with the situation and decide what was best for both of us moving forward.